Ansu Fati was once seen as the future of FC Barcelona and Spanish football. Bursting onto the scene at just 16, he broke multiple records with his pace, confidence, and natural goal-scoring ability. Many believed he was destined to become a world-class superstar. However, repeated injuries, long recoveries, and lack of consistent game time severely slowed his development. Despite showing flashes of brilliance, Ansu Fati struggled to regain his rhythm and confidence at the highest level. His story remains one of football's biggest what-ifs, reminding fans how quickly momentum can change in the modern game. Ravel Morrison was once described by Sir Alex Ferguson as the most naturally talented player of his generation at Manchester United, even ahead of stars like Pogba. With incredible close control, vision, and flair, he had all the tools to become a world-class midfielder. However, discipline, off-field issues, and constant club changes prevented him from fulfilling massive potential. Despite brief flashes of brilliance across multiple leagues, Morrison never settled long enough to build a top-level career. His story is often cited as one of the greatest wasted talents in modern football. Ricardo Quaresma was one of the most naturally gifted wingers of his generation. Famous flair, creativity, and the iconic trivela outside the foot passes and shots. From a young age, he showed immense technical ability and was tipped for greatness at clubs like Sporting CP, FC Porto, Barcelona, and Inter Milan. However, inconsistency, attitude issues, and difficulties adapting to certain managers held him back from reaching his full potential at the very top level. Despite this, Quaresma enjoyed a successful career with trophies and memorable moments, especially at Porto and with Portugal, leaving fans wondering how much more he could have achieved with greater discipline and consistency. Dele Alli burst onto the football scene as one of England's brightest young stars at Tottenham Hotspur. With his intelligence, late runs into the box, flair, and eye for goal, he quickly became a key player for both club and country. At his peak, Dele was considered among the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League. However, a loss of form, tactical changes, injuries, and off-field struggles saw his performances decline rapidly. Despite his undeniable talent, Dele Alli was unable to rediscover his best level consistently, making his career one of modern football's biggest what-ifs. Eden Hazard was one of the most electrifying attackers of his generation, known for his dribbling, creativity, and ability to decide games on his own. At Chelsea, he was a Premier League superstar and widely regarded as one of the best players in the world. However, his move to Real Madrid marked a dramatic downturn in his career. Persistent injuries, fitness issues, and lack of continuity prevented him from reaching the same level in Spain. Despite his immense talent and early success, Hazard's later years remain one of football's biggest missed opportunities, leaving fans wondering how much more he could have achieved at his peak. Jesse Lingard came through the Manchester United academy with high expectations, showing energy, flair, and an eye for big moments. He impressed on the biggest stages, scoring important goals in cup finals and for England. However, inconsistency, limited regular game time, and struggles with form prevented him from fully establishing himself as a top-level player. Despite a brief resurgence on loan at West Ham, Lingard was unable to maintain momentum over a long period. His career is often seen as a case of unrealized potential rather than a lack of ability. Bojan Krkić was once considered one of the brightest young talents to come out of FC Barcelona's famous La Masia Academy. Breaking goal-scoring records at youth level and debuting early for the first team, he was tipped to become a future superstar. However, intense pressure, frequent transfers, and struggles with confidence and mental health disrupted his development. Despite moments of quality across several clubs, Bojan never fully lived up to the enormous expectations placed on him. His story highlights how talent alone is not always enough to succeed at the highest level of football. Alexandre Pato was once regarded as one of the most exciting young forwards in world football. Bursting onto the scene at AC Milan with pace, skill, and clinical finishing, he was expected to become a global superstar. However, constant injuries, fitness issues, and frequent club changes severely affected his consistency and development. Despite flashes of brilliance and early success, Pato was unable to maintain his peak level over a long period. His career remains one of football's what ifs, showing how injuries can derail even the most promising talents. Mario Balotelli was one of the most naturally gifted strikers of his generation, combining technique and incredible finishing ability. From a young age, he showed flashes of world-class talent at clubs like Inter Milan, Manchester City, and AC Milan, playing key roles in major victories. However, frequent discipline issues, off-field controversies, and inconsistent focus prevented him from fulfilling his immense potential. Despite brilliance, Balotelli's career is often remembered as one of football's greatest what-ifs, highlighting how mindset can be important talent. Adriano Ribeiro, famously known as the Emperor, was one of the most feared strikers in world football at his peak. With incredible strength, explosive pace, and a devastating left foot, he dominated defenders during his time at Inter Milan and was tipped to become one of the greatest forwards of all time. However, personal struggles, loss of motivation, and lifestyle issues following the death of his father deeply affected his career. Despite his immense talent, Adriano's decline was rapid, making his story one of football's most emotional what-ifs.